At Julians, we use a platform called J2E, and it really helps us to create a dialogue with the children. We use, well, the software has speech bubbles that we can click on each individual piece of work. And within that speech bubble, we can write a comment. I really quite like to use a similar marking than I do at school. So I use ticks. I've actually included some, not emojis per se, but little images. So I use ticks for the things they've done well to meet the learning objective. I have an arrow for a future target, something that they need to think of or review. And I also use a star for when they have gone above and beyond either the learning objective or something that we mentioned in the video, sometimes an extra grammar point for them to think about. And if they've included that in the work, then I reward them with a star. And at school, that would lead to a dojo point. So I keep a record of all that. And our school has just started sharing our dojos with the families. So my understanding, I don't know how it works in practice, and I haven't asked because, well, it's opening yet another box of something that I cannot control. But I encourage the kids to go and see their dojos, and I add them every day. So in school, of course, it's a lot more, it's a lot easier because you're doing it automatically. Here it takes recording lists and organization, but it has worked really well. Just already in a week, I have found that the kids are responding quite well to this. We also can record our voice, which is a fantastic tool, especially if you want to explain a point a little bit more or reassure a child. I think sometimes hearing our own voice is better than, a tick, and it replaces, not really, but it replaces a little bit the kind of pat on the back that we would have done when we look over someone's book. And I sometimes also upload photos. So I've got a bank of pictures, including an Oscar, like as in the Oscar, for whenever we encourage them to do drama. And so that's, like, hey, you're a winner kind of thing. It's just to vary a little bit the things that they see pop up every day. So then we have face-to-face dialogue as well. So our school has decided to do one Zoom a week where we have small group and we are expected to teach something in that Zoom. It's an interesting experience. We've definitely gotten better. I have really good attendance, but sometimes the children it's really interesting to see how they think we don't see them. Being silly on screen. So we have to, and it's difficult to be authoritative through Zoom. So we try, So small groups, an hour a week approximately where we teach something. And we usually prepare some slides and we try in that slide to feedback on Times Tables Rockstar or iHub or anything else that the kids may have done. We don't make it too personal, but try and encourage them constantly to take part in all the wonderful platforms we are lucky to have in my school. We also check how they're feeling. I spend at least 10 minutes talking about, how are you feeling today? I model the fact that I'm fed up and I'm tired and I'm bored, just to try and draw out a little bit some of these things, because I don't know how easy it is for them to talk to their parents about it. And of course, then there's something going on behind the scenes where if you notice that a child isn't really responding too well, we have a whole chain of command. It's really nicely organized where we can flag things up. And so I feel very well supported in my dialogue with the kids if something goes wrong, which I think is important. And then something which is riotously wonderful, we have 3 whole class Zooms per week. In our case, in year 5, it's at the end of the day. So it's a really lovely end of work kind of event. And it's meant to be fun. There's no lesson going on. We do sometimes encourage them to do something or praise. I make it a big discussion. We sometimes all stand up and do exercise. I read a book. I show a picture. We watched, for example, speeches like the inauguration speech from Amanda Gorman. So it's a really exactly like we would have done in class, actually. An end of day, everyone shares a similar experience. And they are so well behaved. The rule is you are all muted. I mean, there's 24 faces, so you're all muted. You have to use that little hand signal from Zoom. You all line up at the top and you take it in turns. So I think their listening skills, I mean, they're wonderful. I'm starting to feedback on iHub, so that's quite new. Again, a form of dialogue specifically for reading skills. So I can talk about that a bit more another time. And and yes, I do a raffle at the end of every week for people. One of the issues we have is uploading work every day. Some kids think, oh, maybe if I just do one piece of work, or if I just upload it every 3 days. So I do a raffle where if you've uploaded every day, your name goes in the raffle. And that's on that Friday afternoon, whole class Zoom. And the kids get all excited and,